Now on BBC World News, our weekly in-depth look at the economic trends that are shaping Africa's future. In Business Africa.
Hello and welcome to In Business Africa. I'm Larry Midowo in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. This week, we're looking at property and housing. Here's what's coming up. We discover what's driving Ethiopia's construction boom. Take a look at the memorial parks breathing new life into one South African developer's profits.
Yes, it's unpopular amongst the black people, but I know for sure that at the end of the day, as long as my parents are happy, as long as my wife is happy, the family is happy about it, I'm content with it also.
And hear from an organization that's supporting the development of real estate and affordable housing in Africa. As cities around the world grow, the volume of building activity usually grows along with them. Globally, construction output is expected to double, up from $8.7 trillion in 2012 to $15 trillion by 2025. In sub-Saharan Africa, the pace of construction growth is expected to be strong, averaging 6.3% between 2019 and 2023. Ethiopia is seeing a colossal construction boom right now. Just look at all those projects behind me. It has seen billions of private sector and government dollars in the housing and infrastructure projects over the last few years alone. Emmanuel Gunza has been finding out why the construction sector here is growing when all the other major African economies are seeing a slowdown.
Ethiopia's economy is booming, and nowhere is this more evident than in the construction business. From skyscrapers to hotels, office blocks and modern housing units, the industry is fast rising. And these multi-million projects are changing the face of the city and the country.
This is the future headquarters of the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. When it's completed, it will be the tallest building in the country, towering about 198 meters, 50 stories high. It might outtower other buildings across the city, but these are the kind of projects that are coming up across Ethiopia.
The government has led this investment, pumping in millions of dollars, mainly in the social housing scheme. This has brought a major windfall for both foreign and local firms that have taken on projects as demand for housing and office space increases.
There are many Chinese companies and European companies like Salini who have remained here nearly forever. Salini was here, he set ground as an engineer 50, 60 years before. So the long-term enduring relationship between the public, the state and the contractor depends on the specific nature of the company and the state. But because more generally, local companies are the ones who are going to be the enduring partners of the public and the state, we all wish that, for our own good too, that the state would look at us with a more favored eye. But that favoring should start with equally addressing issues in access to finance and access to the foreign goods market.
Construction is fast emerging as a key driver of the economy. In the financial year 2015-2016, it accounted to just 9% of the gross domestic product. That has almost doubled to 18% in the financial year 2018-2017.
And that growth has translated to the creation of millions of much-needed jobs in a country with high unemployment rates. Government data says in 2017-2018, the sector was the second and largest employer in the country, engaging more than 2 million people in both permanent and temporary jobs. Ethiopia has taken up billions of dollars in loans and grants to finance its ambitious infrastructure development. But that has not come without its own burden. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed this year announced that his government will cut back on new projects in a bid to tackle rising external debt, mainly from China, which now amounts to $27 billion. The debt coupled with the biting forex exchange shortage has hit the construction industry hard. It is facing delays and difficulties in purchasing materials. Economic experts and investors say this is only a temporary setback.
Unlike many countries in Africa where you have one big city and nothing else, in Ethiopia, because of the structure of the country, of the size of the country, which is twice bigger than France and Spain combined, the urbanization growth you see in Ethiopia will be throughout the country. So Bahar Dar, Mekelle, Nazareth, all these places will have very large million-plus urban centers, and that, I think, will drive construction in those regions as well. So the bottom line is, I am optimistic. It will have challenges in the short term, but there will be more and more shift as well to the private sector. Private sector-led infrastructure investments, especially in housing, residential. I would see a lot of opportunity growth and then a lot of investors coming in from abroad as well.
The prospects are no doubt promising, but all this will depend on how the government implements its ambitious economic reform program that it hopes will drive Ethiopia to its next phase of development.